Hi, I'm Jordan. Welcome to MediaPool and welcome to my first video essay for the viral video module here at the University of Liverpool. Over the next 10 minutes, I will be arguing that online videos become more accessible when they bring places and ideas closer to their audience. In turn, this accessibility increases the chances of a video becoming viral. I hope that by drawing on the work of Burgess and Green, who investigate the success rates of videos and which features made them a success, I will be able to bring this argument to life. Looking at my own videos, I will describe the production process and the decisions I made at each stage. Primarily, I will be analysing the Media Geek and Media Culture videos. These videos showed the greatest amount of engagement during their relatively short time online. Kuhn and Lingwall's discussion of social media strategy will help to demonstrate how I went about building my audience, whilst a brief analysis of viewing data, using Nan and Hemsley's viral media event model, should help to identify whether my social media strategy was a success. So, let's start with the first video. To satisfy the media culture brief, I produced a video outlining my favourite places to eat on Bold Street. Bold Street in Liverpool boasts an array of independent restaurants, stores, coffee houses and so much more. The video starts with a short introduction, followed by a montage of footage taken on the street and then a countdown of my top 5 places to eat. The aim of the video was to provide visitors with a taste of Liverpool's culture and promote independent businesses to people who may not have heard of them. Berger outlines that the more people hear about a product, the bigger the interest generated. I saw the production of a cultural video like this, highlighting an area popular with residents but rarely visited by its visitors, as an effective way of raising awareness of Bold Street. It is also worth mentioning here that Berger's theory focuses on advertising, and whilst this piece wasn't commissioned by any of the establishments featured, the theory explains how a video like this may encourage tourism to flourish in the area. A combination of different production techniques were employed to produce this video, although they weren't always successful. Burgess and Green state that vlogs can accelerate engagement because they resemble interpersonal communication. As such, I felt that a vlog style was fitting of this kind of informal video. I wasn't holding the camera, but I was speaking as if I was speaking directly to the audience. I felt that this style helped build some kind of rapport and a level of trust with viewers. I also supplemented the video with a map, which would prove to be a useful visual aid. My role in this video could only be described as a 21st century trip advisor, someone who can offer support and guidance to anyone interested in Liverpool, or anyone who happens to be particularly hungry. In terms of a call to action, I asked the audience to leave a comment detailing which restaurants they had sampled themselves, with the hope that they might be inspired to visit. The reason for this was to engage my audience in their own content creation, using my video as a platform to share their preferences. Khan et al.'s study focuses on the various types of comments on YouTube videos and the categories in which we group them by. Their comparative comments study in particular mirrored the kind of comments that were made in response to my video. People were suggesting their own preferred order of top-rated places to eat. Though their study on comment ambiguity is something of particular interest, especially in regards to people suggesting new places to eat. These comments would have only made sense to people who knew the street and the names of establishments on it. For inexperienced audiences, I propose that these kinds of comments might encourage them to further research the area and its eateries. After this, I asked viewers to like the video and to subscribe to the channel. These features were included to support with the channel's development, which was still in its infancy at the time. It would, for the audience, both present them with other videos of interest and notify them if subsequent videos were uploaded. Ultimately, it would help to grow the channel's community. I will look at the results of my production work a little bit later. My Media Geek video took a very different approach and had a very different outcome. Called An Introduction to Footing, this educational video aimed to clarify 2 of Goffman's theoretical concepts. The video starts with a general introduction, recorded in a relatively quiet space, some minor details about footing, followed by a pencasted drawing of a typical speech act with voiceover narration to describe the participation framework. After this, a brief discussion on the production format helped to outline the 3 roles a speaker can assume in conversation. The whole style of the video was made to be accessible regardless of level of understanding. The positioning of the camera, which was angled slightly downwards to create the illusion of a conversation between friends, created a sense of comfort. A similar vlog style to the media culture video was employed, but I tried to make this somewhat more formal by using a tripod for a steady camera and a more considered background to reduce distractions. I wanted my audience to focus on me and not the scene. Pencasting was also an important part of the brief. Ju et al. Portray videos that include a whiteboard drawing demonstration as particularly engaging, though they also mention that informal talking head style videos were just as engaging for audiences. To capture and hold the attention of my audience, about 52% of the video was dedicated to presenting on screen, while 33% of the video was dedicated to pencasting. By providing this balance, the video would appeal to the widest range of people and, as Duo et al. Suggest, also generate the biggest engagement potential possible. Duo et al. Also indicated that videos with high enthusiasm were most appreciated. Feedback from some close friends highlighted that in comparison to my media culture video, I wasn't as engaging. I believe that if I'd had the opportunity to recreate the video, I would have sped up my pacing and perhaps varied the intonation of my voice a little more. On the other hand, comments left below the video suggested that I was clear, professional and detailed in the way I approached the concepts. Overall, I was pleased with the outcome. While most of the theories I have looked at thus far seem to indicate that audiences are generated without any external assistance, the brief we were set and timescales to work within required views and engagement to accumulate much quicker. Kuhn and Lingwall write about the way in which companies utilise social media to generate an audience. They suggest that regular content without breaks gives your social media following something to look forward to, but this presumes that there is a wide amount of content you can share with them. For me, I was somewhat limited in that I only had 3 videos. I had to think of creative ways of sharing content, like creating 2-second boomerang GIFs, which would grab my online audience's attention, even if they were quickly scrolling down the timeline. On particular days, I tried this out by setting up the online social media controller Hootsuite to auto-schedule tweets at regular hourly intervals in the way which Kuhn and Lingwall recommended. On December the 24th, I received a total of 79 views on the day. On this day, I had posted to both my personal Facebook account and hourly to my public Twitter account. Kat Furrer's description on the complexity of strong and weak ties within networks has a lot to account for. It explains why my Facebook posts will have generated an audience of friends and family interested in watching a video of my work, and why my Twitter post pulled an audience of general users interested in the topic. Here, it seems that by using different social media platforms for both personal and professional use, I had the advantage of reaching people who would be interested. Now back to the video. Nan and Hemsley outline the stages of a video's life cycle. I tagged the well-known cognitive psychologist Steven Pinker, as well as linguistic accounts like All Things Linguistic and Backseat Linguist, and even my university's communication and media departmental account in tweets. These may have helped me to tap into various pre-established networks along with specific hashtags and phrasing. Both the department account and that of Jake Hayes, which both have very good followings, shared my post. This may explain the peaks in my viewing analytics for the video, and may provide evidence as to why this remained the most popular video on the channel for some time. For the media culture video, my stakeholders were very different. Tweets were targeted at culture-related Twitter accounts, such as Tell Liverpool, Culture Liverpool, and The Liverpool Guide. I also thought it suitable to tag the establishments that I had featured in my top 5, and this proved to be particularly useful. All 4 accounts who had Twitter, those being Mowgli, Lucha Libre, American Pizza Slice and Baksheesh, shared my video. This was particularly exciting and their account for the peak viewing figures on the 27th of December. 70% of the daily viewing figures on this day came from external sources. There was also some revival on the 1st of January, which was the date which I targeted the Culture Twitter accounts. Combining the recommended strategy and smart goals that you can see on screen, both of which were outlined by Kuhn and Lingwall, I would argue that tailoring your promotions and bringing concepts and ideas to light for both new audiences and old, you can have a lot of success. Both my Media Geek and Media Culture videos benefited from high levels of engagement. My Media Society video, however, didn't favour as well, but I believe this was partially due to the fact that it had been online for the least amount of time and the topic may not have been particularly popular at the time of posting. Perhaps posting at the time educational disadvantage reaches mass media would have been much more successful. This analysis has proved that social media can help bring ideas and concepts closer to audiences, whether interested in a topic or not. The variety of production techniques I used, whether that be talking at a camera, vlogging from the street, or narrating over animation, prove that there are various ways of disseminating information to different audiences. Overall, I've really enjoyed producing this portfolio and have no doubt that the processes I have undertaken, specifically social media strategy, will come in handy for future job prospects. That's all for now. To get a feel for the range of videos I produced, I recommend having a look at my portfolio for semester 1 here. That's been me, Jordan, for MediaPool. Thanks for watching.